By now, we've all seen Samsung's fantastic foldable phone, and they're coming out with a new version. But rather than making the phone into a watch with a tiny screen like Nubia's incoming foldable watch phone, it will be a full display phone that bends into a 70s style wristband, or possibly even a snap bracelet. The patent filed last week with the World Intellectual Property Organization shows a futuristic phone that can bend around your arm using a threaded metal chassis, like the ones you see in some watches' wristbands. The display would only bend in one direction. The patent describes powerful magnets on each end of the phone that will close the phone once you put it around your wrist entirely. The document says that the SIM card would be inserted on the top, while a USB-C port will be on its bottom. The futuristic device is not a crazy sci-fi proposition either, even if it looks like one. It is doable with current technology, or stuff that we know exists in labs or is on the verge of production at least. We have seen flexible displays that bend to this angle. Inside, flexible batteries and circuits can power the phone. And while it's not clear what the back surface could be, such a design might use a metal-colored flexible polymer with metal segments. Earlier this month, a Bloomberg report claimed that the Korean company is working on two new Galaxy Fold models, a traditional clamshell and a Huawei Mate X style unit. Another recent unearthed patent shows another clamshell model with its display on the outside. We don't know if these patents will turn into a final consumer product or not, but it's clear that Samsung's research teams are actively working beyond the current Samsung Galaxy Fold. It makes sense. The market is so new that the Seoul-based company seems to be trying to cover all bases. In a market that is saturated with similar phones, it's the smart thing to do. It looks like foldable phones are here to stay and thrive. Whoever wins the foldable wars will own a very lucrative future. Until the next big thing comes along, that is. Samsung is doing everything it can to try to push the envelope ahead of Apple, Huawei, and the rest of Android players. Say hello to Onewheel Pint. Unveiled earlier at a press conference in New York, it's the newest addition to Future Motion's growing fleet of mono-wheeled rideable devices. And just like its predecessors, it's an absolute riot to ride. So what makes it different? Here's a quick rundown. First of all, you probably can't tell from the photos, but the Pint is about 15% smaller than the Onewheel Plus and Onewheel Plus XR. It's also lighter. We're not sure how much lighter exactly, but we are sure that it's lighter and you're not going to have to be a bodybuilder to pick up this device and carry it around. It even has a built-in handle in the middle of the frame for extra convenience. Unfortunately, it doesn't have quite as much torque as the Onewheel Plus XR and only has a range of about 6 to 8 miles, but what it lacks in brawn, it makes up for in agility. Make no mistake, this thing is a certified shredder, thanks to the fact that it's lighter and more maneuverable. The Pint can accelerate just as quickly as its big brothers. It's also more nimble and easier to whip around under your feet. Transitioning from an XR to a Pint is a lot like switching from a canoe to a kayak. It just feels more playful and free. Another big improvement is the dismount system. In the older Onewheels, learning how to dismount properly takes a fair amount of time and practice. It's usually the only part that people struggle with, but the dismount issue has been mitigated in the Pint. To hop off the new board, all you have to do is bring the board to a complete stop, then slowly lean back. The best part, however, is most definitely the price. Whereas earlier Onewheels have typically started around $1,500 to $1,800 at launch, Future Motion is currently selling the Pint for $950. Pre-orders are open right now, and you can choose between 3 different colors: slate sand and a limited edition sage. At the end of the day, it's definitely more evolutionary than revolutionary, but there's a lot to be excited about here. The Pint is proof that Future Motion isn't done branching out and pushing the boundaries of personal mobility tech just yet. This isn't the first Onewheel we've seen, and it probably won't be the last either, but it is still quite exciting. I absolutely love robotic news, and MIT is back with the latest version of its cheetah quadrupedal robot, the Mini Cheetah. And it's got a new trick up its sleeve. It can now do backflips. Backflipping robots is nothing new. Boston Dynamics' much bigger Atlas robot pulled off the trick in November 2017, but the Mini Cheetah is the first four-legged robot to do it, which is almost more impressive. After all, plenty of humans can backflip, but how many dogs do you know that can do the same thing? The answer? Apparently a bunch of them, but still. The Mini Cheetah is also, as the name implies, a much smaller version of the larger Cheetah 3 from last year. It weighs in at around 20 pounds and can trot along at up to 2.4 meters per second. That's about 5.5 miles per hour, which seems useful to know just in case things go all Black Mirror on us in the future. Still, there's something about the size and design that seems to make the Mini Cheetah more friendly looking. It can jump, roll over, trot along you. I defy anyone to watch the Mini Cheetah run through a pile of leaves and not think, "Ah, who's a good boy?" Unlike the slightly more polished Boston Dynamics Spot Mini, which is intended to be an actual real product, the Mini Cheetah is just a research project, so you likely won't be able to buy one ever. But you never know. In the meantime, though, we'll always have the dream of an adorable backflipping robot dog future.